I wanted to take the opportunity to open it up to questions to folks for anybody on the panel. I believe you just need to type them in, and they pop up right in front of me so I can ask them. Amazing how that works. Modern technology and all. Our first one is, if you could use only one type of social media, which would it be?
This is Eduardo from the Nonprofit Roundtable, and I think that the answer is yes. And I didn't mean to be too facetious. I think, I would suggest there's probably not an absolute answer for anybody. See what a peer organization is doing successfully. It could be a peer organization that's around your neighborhood, or perhaps the same size as your organization, or same type of mission, working in an after-school program. I think that the two that have been obviously mentioned a lot right now are three, I guess, blogs, Facebook, and Twitter. And, all three of them, the cost is just a bit of time. And so that would be my quick response to that.
Hey, Eduardo, I would also add to that by suggesting that for each of these organizations, the answer may be very different. A lot of it's going to be judged by your marketing objectives and understanding who it is that you're trying to reach and how you want to reach them. And if you're forced to make a choice of any one, again, I agree with Eduardo, you really want to be connected in multiple ways because your audience is connected in multiple ways. But sometimes looking at your marketing objectives and what you're trying to achieve may help you directly decide which media is worth time and which one might not be.
Now, this is Brendan, and I agree with what the other two speakers said, but I would also advise you to ask yourself an even tougher question, which is, should I even be in the social media realm? Just because it's out there and it seems hip and everyone's on it doesn't mean that it's right for your organization.
Great. Another question, what is an easy way to get started with social media? I'll start off on the answer of that if you'd like, and I would simply say research. Sort of piggybacking off of what everybody has said in answer to the last question, really being able to know your audience will help you get started. Where are your people? Are your folks on Facebook already? Are there organizations already that have your same mission online? It really sort of get a better indication on what is out there that associates with your organization, and figure out what they're doing first, so you can figure out how you can either piggyback or how you can reach new markets. That would be my suggestion.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I would say, play with it. Get out there to understand the different types of social networks that exist. What's interesting is I can always tell when there's someone is new to Twitter, because the tweets that I'll get from them are going to the bathroom, on my way to the store, things that really have no valuable content in them, but they're just trying to figure out how do I use this and what is it that I talk about. But the more accustomed to it you become, the more you'll better begin to understand the proper applications and what kind of content has value to the people that are reading it on the other end. Because the quickest thing that can happen and the worst thing that can happen is if you're not providing valuable content, people are just going to tune you out. They're going to shut you off. They're not going to follow you anymore. They're not going to visit your Facebook page. You got to realize that there's got to be valuable content to the people that are visiting you, not valuable content that you think is important.
Next question. As a local government, our use of social media is, shall we say, bland. Is social media really a good tool for local government?
If I might speak for just a moment, this is Jeremy Anderson, head of Comitatus' technology operations here. I know that it's recently been a bit of an endeavor that North Carolina State has taken on, that a lot of their smaller communities have turned to social networking tools such as Twitter and Facebook to start updating the community about how parents can be updated about whether or not children are having school that day or things of this sort. and a lot of these folks could get these updates directly to their telephones via text messages or to their social networking applications in means by which they may not have actually gotten those if they missed the news that morning or something of the sort. That's been something that I could speak to personally as far as technology in the local government.
Yeah, this is Eduardo from the Roundtable. I would concur. You know, I live in Arlington, and whether it's individual county members, county board members, or others in Arlington, I think that, you know, it's been a very it's a win-win for me as an Arlingtonian. I would also suggest, and I understand that's specifically local governments, but let me just posit that the national government, that the Obama administration has been using many of these tools as well to interesting use. So I think there's another government model there too.
Okay. The next question: are there any rules you propose about new technologies? I'm assuming that sort of means any rules of things that you should or should not do.
Well, this is Brendan again. The short answer is yes. We had developed a solid list of policies and procedures when we launched our social media campaigns, because you need to be very careful that you have some control. Well, people say that social media is all about, you know, letting the visitors have control. That is true, but you still have to have some control over the content that might appear on your site that is branded with your logo and your name and represents your organization. So we are very careful about the types of postings that we will allow on the site if someone is using inappropriate language, or they're posting something that is not germane to the content of the blog, or is you know, insulting, or a negative comment about a member of the staff that really just doesn't have anything to do with what we're trying to communicate. Then, you know, we won't post it. We will post negative comments as long as they are germane to what we're communicating. But you do need to make sure that you have some semblance of control over who is posting in the name of your organization and what they're saying.
I know with the Ullman Cancer Fund in particular, one of the things that we tried to do was exactly that. Before we had people out there blogging as the organization, get them familiar with it on a personal level, get them comfortable with the medium, make sure as an organization we understood what topics were appropriate to take on and not to take on, and to continue to experiment with how to use the different kinds of social media to help us achieve our mission as well.
This is Eduardo, and I think that there is a balance here, and I while I concur with what was just said, you know, some of the leveraging is often going to be younger staff members or interns. I think trying to make explicit that that you're riding the balance between organizational and individual messages. That can be done a little easier in some formats in a blog post than in others. But I do think that at the same time that you do need to sort of keep these things in mind, you know, a lot of these tools are going to be leveraged by younger staff, and so figuring out how to work that balance in is something that often comes up as well.